redefine e-commerce. I have Paul Mahone, co-founder and CEO with me, and Tori Arcuri, Director of Operations, who will join as well. So you have 7 minutes. I will give you the clicker and the microphone. Here we go. Where's the clicker? Where's the clicker?
Thank you. So I'm Paul Mahone. I'm the CEO of BitBoost, and as you heard, I'm joined on the stage today by Tori Arcuri, our Director of Operations. BitBoost is a Swiss corporation. We are based in Zug, and as you heard, we have as our mission redefining e-commerce. And the reason we feel that this needs to be done are two reasons. One is that we feel fees are just too high. If you use something like eBay, they're going to charge you a large listing fee. They will charge you fees for adding images. They will take a percentage of your final sale price. And if you use a payment processor like PayPal, they will also take a cut. And that could really eat into the profits of somebody who's trying to make money by using e-commerce. The other problem is that we feel there's just too much personal information being collected. That is actually a risk for the company that collects it because they become a target for hacking. And unfortunately, as we've seen recently in the news from the US, it is also a risk for users. So our solution is to use the Ethereum blockchain. And I think we're actually a very good use case for the blockchain. So through the use of the blockchain, we're able to get a very low-cost infrastructure because we don't have any server farms or anything like that. All of our computation and storage is farmed out to the Ethereum blockchain. It also removes middlemen. For instance, we have an integrated wallet, so there's no need for a payment processor, so those fees don't get taken away from you. And because we have this integrated payment system, we collect no personal information about you. So our product, our marketplace, is called The Block. It is running right now as a beta, and I invite you to visit our table out there and try it for yourself. We've worked hard to give it a nice interface. It has an integrated wallet and payment system. We've also integrated escrow through smart contracts, arbitration through smart contracts. Again, it's private. We collect no information about you. It is encrypted, so we have an encrypted messaging system built in, and we're working on a real-time encrypted chat system right now as well. We are multilingual. If you take a look at our beta, you'll see it's localized in 10 languages, and we want at least 20 by the time we launch. It runs on macOS, Windows, and Linux. We have an iOS app in development, and Android is planned. Tell you a bit about our team. We come from 5 different countries. We are very experienced, not just individually, but we are experienced as a team. This is not our first decentralized market. We shipped one 2 years ago called NXT Free Market on the NXT blockchain. So this is actually our second decentralized market. Give you a bit of information. We have a pre-sale that starts next week. We're selling the BitBoost token. It's an internal utility token. This is used to pay listing fees. We have a cap of 100 million. Like I said, the pre-sale begins on Monday. That's the 18th of September. And we have a main token sale beginning in October. And now I'd like to turn it over to Tori.
Hi. So I'm a little bit new to BitBoost, but I've been advising Paul on various projects for over a decade, and he always has interesting ideas. But this is the only project that I've ever asked to be a part of for 2 main reasons. First, e-commerce is expanding worldwide, as you all know, and across multiple categories, all categories. In 2016, India, Russia, Brazil, and Mexico generated approximately 94 billion. Since 2015, The annual growth rate of e-commerce in these countries reached 57%, a growth trend that is expected to remain in this range as internet and mobile coverage continue to expand. Assuming the target of a market penetration of just 2%, by 2020, the bloc could generate an e-commerce volume of around $6 billion per year in these 4 countries alone. E-commerce is poised to overtake retail commerce, probably this year. And m-commerce for mobile devices is growing even faster than desktop-based e-commerce. This represents financial opportunity, but also, and this is what brings me to my second and real reason for joining BitBoost, we can really help people. Our phase 2 goal is to reach emerging markets. There are about 2 billion people living in countries that do not have good digital infrastructure or monetary stability. These people are more likely to have mobile devices than desktops. With our app, we can reach them and open up points of opportunity all over the world. We can give them a way to sell their goods online to a global market so that they can support their families, possibly even whole communities. We can give them a way to purchase the products that they need, even if they live in remote areas, so that they can better their quality of life. Using the block, they can connect to the world in a positive way and share in the prosperity that the rest of us may take for granted. That's good karma. As part of BitBoost, I feel like I can help more people now than when I worked in the medical industry, which is quite a statement. BitBoost is building a foundation for the future. We have a platform that will feel familiar to users. We address a common need. We will be a gateway for many users into the world of blockchain, supporting the ecosystem as a whole and improving how e-commerce works worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Paul. So the next startup is SweetBridge. SweetBridge sponsors the development of blockchain-based economic protocols and applications to transform high-friction global supply chains into liquid value networks. The man who's CEO and co-founder is Scott Nelson. Scott, the stage is yours. Tell us more about SweetBridge.
Thank you. Need this? So SweetBridge is about business. We're a B2B that extends to each and every one of you in this room. We are a blockchain alliance made up of multiple projects and growing all the time that is trying to create liquid supply chains. I got to explain these two concepts because most of us in the room really don't know what these words mean. When most of us, if we think about supply chain at all, if we even understand what the word is, have this image in our mind, a ship on the ocean carrying containers of goods. But I want to give you a different way to think about the supply chain because this is a very small part of what supply chain is. It's either Mother Nature or it's the supply chain. If it didn't grow or wasn't created where it is, it was processed, moved, or stored by a supply chain. So everything you see in this room came through a supply chain. Supply chains manage $54 trillion of global GDP. To put this in context, all of financial services is $13 trillion. This is 2/3 of all of the activity on the planet, and it employs most of the people on the planet. So how can they be liquid? We certainly don't mean water here. So when we're talking about liquidity, we're talking about 3 things. The first is liquid capital. The second is liquid assets. The third is liquid talent. A SweetBridge is a very big project. We're made of a big team. We've got 44 people on it right now, some part-time, some full-time, and growing all the time. We have a roadmap for a protocol stack here to make all of this happen. The very first protocol is liquidity out of assets. This is asset-based lending. Now, this is a very big deal. There are $700 trillion worth of valued assets in the world, but there is only $60 to $70 trillion worth of currency in the world, which means that at any given time, most of the money is locked up in assets. This requires a lot of projects. It requires law firms and ultimately even governments. And it's more than the blockchain. Supply chains are going to be deeply affected by AI and IoT, so they're part of our alliance as well. Now, this is where we are starting with our first product, which is being released in the next few months, which is asset-based lending, targeting the supply chain, but something that extends to each and every one of you in the audience. The problem is, at any given time in the supply chain, there are tens of trillions of dollars tied up in orders and invoices, and no one knows for sure, but something between $60 and $90 trillion in inventory. This money is money that is locked up. It can't be used, and people have to borrow money to basically use it. So to fix this problem, we're introducing a token economic model using an innovative two-token design. Unlike most of the tokens that you've heard about here today, Bridgecoin is entirely asset-backed. Bridgecoin will exist in multiple flavors. There will be Bridgecoin USD, there'll be Bridgecoin Rice, there'll be Bridgecoin Euro, there'll be Bridgecoin Coal. These tokens are pegged to these real-world assets or fiat currencies. This is not a token you want to own if you're trying to invest. It's a token you want to own if what you're trying to do is create liquidity or actually conduct trade. The second token is Sweetcoin. And Sweetcoin may be, we hope, the token that nobody ever wants to sell. And the reason is that as we add assets to our network, different asset classes, you will be able to borrow money from the assets you own, interest-free, and move that money from a crypto environment out into a fiat world with no cost, instantly through our exchanges and commodity bridges, which are being built one legal jurisdiction at a time around the world. So imagine for you personally what it would mean if your mortgage, the automobiles you own, and your credit cards could all be interest-free. That is what SweetBridge implies. But not just for you, for companies. Now, this is hard to get your head around. We are actually, in effect, creating central banking functions on the blockchain. And this means that you can actually lend money to yourself through our app, which will be available in the next few months on the Ethereum blockchain, using assets that you own, Ether, other ERC20 tokens in our proof of concept early release, without another party, interest-free. And you control your payment terms, and the only rule that you need to worry about is if you say you're going to pay it back in 5 years in a balloon payment, well, you better pay it back in 5 years in a balloon payment or it will sell your asset. That means all of the Bridgecoin is asset-backed. What really makes this interesting is when that isn't an ERC20 token, but when this is something like Royal Mint Gold or Pink Diamond or coal or a barrel of oil or your home, a warehouse, a factory, a 747. This is the first of the protocols in our 7-layer protocol stack. we'd like to invite you to come and take a look at how this is possible. Because for most of us, we believe this cannot be done. But the implications of crypto economics and what is happening in the blockchain are far greater than just the tokenization of our companies to raise money. We can now tokenize reality. How that is done, download the white paper, join the conversation, and find out.
Thank you so much, Scott Nelson. Next up, we have Streamer. Streamer is founded by Henry Pichala. He's the CEO. He will tell us how Streamer tokenizes real-time data to enable a new way for machines and people to trade it on a decentralized P2P network. Henry, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So, hi, my name is Henry. I'm founder and CEO at Streamer. So, Streamer aims to tokenize the value in real-time data. For example, let's consider a self-driving electric car. To deliver the best possible passenger experience, it constantly needs data from other machines. For example, traffic congestion information from other cars, electricity prices on nearby charging stations, weather forecasts, and so on. Now, Streamer provides a single interface for real-time data and payment, effectively making data streams tradable by people and machines using a cryptographic token called Datacoin, which lives on the Ethereum blockchain. So the car can autonomously go, subscribe to data, and pay for it. Now, in turn, the car can sell the data it produces, such as traffic information to other cars, road condition measurements to smart cities, passenger blood sugar level to advertisers, and so on. A data stream economy is born. Streamer is implemented as a decentralized peer-to-peer network for data delivery. A data source can connect to any node in the network, publish a new data point, and it instantly gets delivered to valid subscribers. The network scales horizontally up to billions of events per second using a clever sharding scheme. So the network is an off-chain companion network which connects to an underlying blockchain for the most security critical operations such as value transfers and permissioning. Now, decentralization is achieved by allowing anyone to run a node in the network and earn tokens in exchange for the bandwidth that they provide to the network. So the network is run by its users instead of giant corporations. This means that you own, control, and monetize the data that you produce. Decentralization also makes the network robust against attacks and node failures. In addition to the scalable messaging infrastructure we're building two applications. A marketplace which helps the data producers and data consumers find each other. It's kind of like an app store for data streams. Now, raw data is usually not useful as is. It needs some kind of processing. For example, combining different data streams, filtering, aggregating, visualizing, connecting it to blockchains, whatever. So to make these things easy, we have the Streamer engine. The Streamer engine has a user interface called the editor, which is based on visual programming, and it looks like this. So it enables the user to drag and drop boxes that either emit data or do some kind of operations on data. So basically, it allows you to seamlessly connect powerful off-chain computing and analytics with on-chain smart contracts. This is up and running. You can go sign up and start using it right now. Particularly interesting collaboration we have going on is with the Golem project. So the Golem project is like Airbnb for computers. It allows you to rent out your unused computation power. Now, the problem is that the application running inside the Golem container cannot access the network in a secure way very easily. So if you just open up the network ports, it opens vulnerabilities and can be abused for example, distributed denial of service attacks. Now, having access to the streamer network from inside the container, you can actually build new kinds of decentralized applications that can react to massive amounts of real-time data for analytics purposes or data-driven microservices. Nowadays, developers, when they build applications, they leverage a toolkit of cloud-based services like virtual machines, block storage in the cloud, real-time data pipelines, hosted databases, and so on. Now, my prediction is that each of these service layers will be replaced by decentralized counterparts in the future. For example, Golem will steal business from the virtual machine business because the workloads are similar. IPFS and Swarm will replace block storage available in the cloud, and Streamer will replace the real-time data analytics pipelines in there. And Ethereum enables us to decentralize the various service layers. Since this is the ICO summit, a word about our ICO. So we're looking to raise 30 million Swiss franc in exchange for 65% of Datacoin. A private pre-contribution period has been sold out. Yesterday we launched the first public round with Bitcoin Swiss, and the actual crowd contribution period will launch in late September or early October. We make your streams come true. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, for that catchy phrase at the end. So next up, we have RightMesh. RightMesh is a mesh networking platform and protocol enhanced by blockchain, which is the first truly decentralized peer-to-peer network and platform for sharing internet capacity with the goal to increase global connectivity. That was a mouthful. Chris Jensen, co-founder of RightMesh, will tell us more.
So thank you for that. Pleasure to meet you all. We've seen some really interesting presentations today. We're slightly different in that what we're trying to do is make all of those great things you've just heard slightly better while making the world better at the same time. We're trying to connect the next billion users and then the billion users after that that don't have connectivity at the moment but deserve to have it. And to do that, we're trying to change the paradigm from always connected to the internet to simply always connected. You don't necessarily have to be connected to the internet, but you need to be connected to somebody that is. And that's what our mesh allows you to do. We care about this. We've lived connectivity for the past 3.5 years. We even have a vision statement about it. I'm not going to read it for you. It's too small. My eyes are too old. But it's really cool. And it's on our website. So go to rightmesh.io and you can read John's eulogy to the right to connectivity. And it says we in there a lot. But who is we? This is we. As John, the other co-founder. That's our cool office with all of our values up on the wall. At the Dream program, there's us working feverishly with the mountains in the background. Watch out for Josh. If you play table tennis, he's good, see? That's Django. He's the company dog. He's been with us since he was a puppy. And here's John. John's actually out in Bangladesh. 2/3 of our team are based in Bangladesh. They live this problem every day. When you try to download an 8 meg file in Bangladesh and wait 20 minutes, you'll understand what it's like. So we actually try our products out on the streets of Bangladesh. This is really cool. This is telling you something's on fire when nobody has access to the internet to actually spread that message. This is us running 20 hops across our car park. Kids, hour of code. We try and work with our community. We bring in the kids. We give them virtual reality headsets. Dr. Jason Ernst lets them play with the robot. He built that from scratch, even bent the metal and wrote the software. That's people showing more kids around. That's us doing Tough Mudder. 21 miles of hell involving water, mud, and big objects that you fall off of. But it's a fantastic team building thing. That's us winning the Community Engagement Award for the second time. The best workplace in BC, and that's us trying to do our left side. So we're a substantial company. We've been going for 7 years now. We've been working on this mesh for 3.5 years. Left is the parent company. We call ourselves Lefties, and our motto is, we are left, we do things right. Hence Right Mesh. Thank you. But why does connectivity matter? Well, there's 4 billion unconnected users in the world. A lot of them are in 5 big countries. And if you can't connect, you can't text people. You can't exchange videos. You can't give somebody a really cute cat video. You can't drag people onto your app and show them live streaming something. If you can't speak to the internet in some way, shape, or form, you can't do any of those things. More importantly, if you're in sub-Saharan Africa and you've got an ill child, you can't look up healthcare information. You can't get economic information if you're a farmer in rural Guatemala. You can't connect if you're at a hospital in Cuba and you need to find out whether your arm is about to fall off or not. These are more important things than cat videos, strangely. But connectivity will sort that. Technology, 5G, it's coming. It's going to make the world great. Yeah, it's going to make a small part of the world great. The infrastructure we have does not scale. It doesn't work. It's uneconomic to make it bigger, and it uses way too much power. If everybody tries to connect to the internet, we all go up, we all go down, we pull stuff around, you waste vast amounts of energy, and you can't build that infrastructure. You have to scale it differently. We're demanding more and more use out of our phones. We're bringing IoT devices on. All the things you've heard here, they need more and more connectivity, and the existing infrastructure is not the answer. Does it matter that it's in emerging markets? Yeah, you just heard people tell you how important emerging markets are. It's where the people are. It's where the money is going to be. And more importantly, they're people that are suffering from the digital divide, being against them. We want to fix that. We care about our people. 2/3 of my team are in Bangladesh. They live this every day. I want them to have the same opportunities that we have in Canada. So, what have we done? Well, we've built what is technically, I have to get this right, self-forming, self-healing, self-regulating, ad hoc wireless mesh network. Hardly ever get that right. Thank you. What it really is magic. It's a magic platform that lets everything just connect to each other. And as an app developer or a service provider, all you need to do is add 7 lines of code and bing, your app. Bing, God, I sound like Trump. He had a big bing thing, didn't he? Suddenly your app will connect with other devices. So you can now start working offline. So imagine what you can do when you have that. Imagine the problems that you would solve, the things that are important to you. It's not what's important to me. We build a platform, you build what you want on the top of it, whether that's e-commerce, whether that's video, whatever the things that are important to you, our platform lets you make that better. At the heart of it is the Right Mesh Utility Token. The token rewards you for good behavior. If you share an app with somebody and the publisher pays 50 cents for that app to be shared, you can be paid for that in tokens. If you're willing to put your internet access into the mesh so that somebody else can send a message to their family in a different country, you get rewarded for that. The token is integral to the way that the technology works. It rewards good behavior, and we've got some quite clever algorithms that actually punish bad behavior. So the token is important. What will happen once the economy is up and running is that content providers, games providers, streamers, they will want to acquire the tokens because they'll need those to reward their customers, and that will help drive the volume of tokens moving through our economy. So why is everybody getting excited about this? It's a huge need. It's a massive, fast-growing market. We have a solution. It works. We've built this out. Our SDK comes out into public beta in the next several weeks. Somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks is the timeline I've been given. We're a proper team. We're 80 people. We make money. Half of my company makes a lot of money. The other half spends it on doing this because we believe in what we're doing. But what we do is we bring the blockchain to the next billion people. So all the things that you're making out here, we give you more people to actually interact with. But why do we get excited? That's Oni. Oni earns $150 a month, which is 3 times the going rate for his job, because we overpay, and he has a smartphone, because we gave it to him. This is Jahid. He's the driver. We have him because the ladies aren't allowed to be on their own after dark to get home, so we have a driver to take our female developers home in Bangladesh. They both have smartphones. And how do they get their internet? They go to this man. This man has a little stall. You go to him, he pops out your SD card, he puts a few games and some articles on it, and that's your internet for the week. That's not right. They deserve the same access to the things that we take for granted as us. They need right mesh. What we're looking to do now is to work with the community, to comment on our white paper, tell us how you want this to evolve so that we can work with you to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So next up is Abram Cambridge, founder and CEO of the Sun Exchange. Sun Exchange is a solar energy marketplace where anyone can buy solar cell units for commercial solar power plants located in the sunniest places on Earth, and from them earn Bitcoin. So, Abram Cambridge, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Abraham Cambridge, founder of the Sun Exchange, where anyone can earn income from the sun. Our world is in constant search for solid and reliable returns. And what could be a better source of financial yield than our shared nuclear fusion reactor in the sky, the sun? Solar power, when you own the hardware, provides a predictable return of over 10% per year. Our civilization has just crossed a monumental technological tipping point. We can now produce electricity directly from the sun more efficiently than through using fossil fuels. We are becoming a silicon-based economy. Entire industries, in some cases nations, are now switching to solar as their primary source of energy. But for many businesses and communities, particularly in the developing world, they can't because they don't have access to the capital. So, the search for yield on one side, the need for solar energy on the other. The Sun Exchange is a marketplace between the supply and the demand where you can buy into commercial solar energy projects at the scale of a single solar cell at a time. And we're doing this in Africa, where there's a huge demand for energy and the best solar resource on the planet. In South Africa alone, the value of the sunlight when converted to electricity using solar panels and sold at utility rates is worth $620 billion per year. Do you see where we're going with this? We're making Africa planet Earth solar power station. And the timing is perfect. The markets are in alignment. We have record low interest rates, which makes conventional savings products unattractive and, speaking as a millennial, quite frankly, boring. The smart money is moving to sustainable energy. And to date, $3.4 trillion has been pledged to be moved from fossil fuels and put into solar energy and other clean energy technologies. The time for this planet to become solar powered is now. And through the Sun Exchange, that switch happens with a few taps on a screen. Here is how to solar power your money. Visit thesunexchange.com, sign up, or perform a quick identity check. Select a solar project where you wish to deploy solar panels. You place an order, and we'll generate you an estimate on the lease rental income you will earn through the project's duration. When all the solar cells have been sold, they get installed, and they get insured, properly maintained, and we take care of all the long-term legal agreements. Once in operation, you can check your Sun Exchange dashboard, check your earnings, get live solar project data, and you can sit back and earn monetized sunshine to wherever you are in the world. And until now, none of this would have been possible. And we've made it possible due to two key innovations. Our first innovation, we have fractionalized solar panel ownership. So you can now own a cell within a panel within a project of your choice. Our second innovation is how we have utilized the Bitcoin blockchain's payment rail and Ethereum smart contracts to enable universal asset leasing on a nano scale. We offer a resolution in payouts previously inconceivable, with maximum return and lowest possible solar energy cost to our end consumers. And to date, we've got 30,000 solar cells in operation, owned by our ever-growing user base located in 70 countries on Earth, now receiving African sunshine streamed in Bitcoin. We've built a team of specialists from the solar, the finance, and the software sectors, and in May, in Dubai, we won the Global Blockchain Challenge. Now, the Sun Exchange Network token. You can pre-order this from October, and a Sun Exchange Network token entitles you to preferential lease rates when using our platform, and you can use it on our secondary marketplace when it goes live early next year. Each token is backed by an actual physical solar energy cell, providing a predictable and reliable yield. Through participating in this ICO, you are backing a proven business, already generating revenue with ever-growing user base, and with your participation, we can scale this globally. To date, we've been based in South Africa, and it's our intention with your involvement to be able to host solar projects in all corners of the globe, so we can stream, monetize sunshine in real time, 24/7, 365. You will be able to own a solar cell that is always in the summer sun. So now you know about our incredible business. It's a world-changing, mission-driven organization. And whether it's about the melting of our glaciers, or the dying off of our coral reefs, or ever increasingly devastating hurricanes and floods, not just in the United States, but throughout the world, we need marketplaces like this. We need it not just to secure an energy future, but to secure a future at all. So visit thesunexchange.com and start earning solar-powered money. Thank you.
Thank you, Abraham Cambridge. Monetizing sunshine. And from monetizing sunshine, we go over to Papyrus. Papyrus is the world's first fully comprehensive and highly scalable decentralized ecosystem for digital advertising. Thomas Halbert, ecosystem evangelist, will pitch it to you on stage right now.
Hello. Hey, it's great to be last. Thank you for your patience, guys. I'm Thomas Hulbert. I'm the ecosystem evangelist for Papyrus, the world's first decentralized ecosystem for digital advertising. All right, where's this next? There you go. Advertising. Advertising. Our culture, our consumer culture, is based on advertising. Advertising is the greatest art form of the 20th century because it combined three important things to all of us. It combined technology, commerce, and culture. The digital advertising market has taken over. In 2016, we see that digital advertising overcame television advertising and is now the leading source of advertising revenue for that market. One of the most interesting things about this is the growth. It doesn't show it on this chart here, but from 2007, digital advertising was about $43 billion, and today it's $230 billion, and it's gonna keep growing. That's pretty interesting, but one of the problems with this is this problem between the relationship of culture, commerce, and technology. Because as we've moved online, what has happened is the breakdown of one of these elements, and that is culture. And while we all think of culture as statues and museums and fine arts and film, what I'm talking about is value. The value that we have when we trust each other in transactions, the value that we have when we deliver what we're promised, and even the value that we create when we deliver wonderful advertising. What we see now, however, is that this online environment for digital advertising is really a mess. It's a huge, hot mess. It's full of intermediaries. Everybody's trying to grab something. It's full of fraud. There's bots. People don't trust each other. There's no way to calculate how much money you earn from your ad spend. It's really quite a difficult thing. And I don't really know if it's going to continue to grow in the way it has, because it's turning out to be something that the participants of this market don't like. The participants of this market are people like advertisers and publishers who are losing money. They're losing money because what they're doing is being ripped off by these intermediaries. They're paying money to get a product with their publishers. The publishers are paying, and everything's being taken by bots, and everything's being scrambled by this very disorganized system. So what we have here is a simple, lovely pie chart of what an advertiser sells online. An advertiser tries to get ad impressions, and more than 50% of those ad impressions are being given to bots. That is robots, ladies and gentlemen. Robots are watching your advertisement. So there's a huge loss going on here. And for every dollar that advertisers spend, there's only about a half a dollar of value. And the inventory is being lost by these bots. Actually, not bots. It's being lost by ad blocker. And then more than $110 billion of this ad economy is wasted. So we have an opportunity for transparency in the blockchain. What we get is a free market. These people who participate in the digital advertising market have an opportunity to, the publishers, the advertisers, and the users have this opportunity to enter into a new market. This new market is based on transparency. Transparency delivers anti-fraud, delivers efficiency, and reputation. And that's really important for delivering value to the people who are in this market, like advertisers and publishers especially. Papyrus has 4 layers of architecture that presents a very simple system for users as well as advertisers and publishers to enter into the blockchain. There's an application layer, a downloadable app. There is an architecture layer, which is for publishers and advertisers to use to upload their stuff, upload their platforms on the blockchain. And there is a scalability layer, which is a really important part of the Papyrus system, because scalability is a problem for a lot of blockchain projects. And the Papyrus platform is getting ready to manage more than 10 billion ad impressions per day. So we have the architecture layer here to handle that. And finally, there's the core layer, which is the governance layer, the DAO, and the reputation management system, and smart contracts. The benefits of this thing are quite wide. We have the benefits for advertisers. They get high quality traffic. The advertisers get to sell to show their ads to real people and not bots. And they have anti-fraud systems that prevent hackers and people who are trying to interrupt those streams. We have complete transparency in media buying, which means, of course, that everybody knows who is who on the system, and they can verify their transactions. And of course, the technology costs are very low. Now, publishers are ones who also benefit tremendously from this ecosystem. Publishers have an opportunity to prove themselves on the advertising market. They can prove their ratings. With the Papyrus ecosystem, you can prove your rating, how good you are, how good your content is, how much of a reliable partner you are. And the better ratings you get from the transparency of the Papyrus system, the higher revenues you can earn. Also, of course, there's instant payments, which cuts down on all the costs for banking and other transactions. And of course, ad-based D-apps are coming, and these things will help make synergy happen on the ad market. Finally, for me, the most exciting part of this whole project is the incorporation of the end user into the ad cycle. It's really, really important for me, because now we get to take back some of what has been lost in our lives. We're victims of fraudulent advertising. We're victims of spam advertising. People are stealing our data, and we have all kinds of problems with connectivity because these advertisings, they come on our screens and they slow everything down and they get in our way and they steal our data. They steal our data without asking, and that's a shame. That's not right. But as part of the Papyrus ecosystem, not only do we have faster internet, not only do we have privacy and control of our data, but we also get compensated for ad impressions and sharing our data. So this is really important here. So the users now can become part of the ad cycle. Of course, there are competitors on this market. People like Basic Attention Token, Ad Token, Keychain, AdX. These are all great projects. We're really interested in these projects as well, but they only part of the solution. These projects, they make small changes to an existing system that is broken. The main thing about Papyrus is it doesn't try to fix a broken system. It creates a new system. This whole new system, this whole new ecosystem, as we call it, is more like an organic place where everybody can come together and sell their wares, advertise their wares, and participate in the ad cycle and earn the same money. Papyrus is going to be run on a utility token that is ERC20 compliant. This token sale is going to go on. The pre-sale is going to happen October 12th. They're actually for sale now for a private distribution. This token will be used for governance within the system. This token will also be used for instant payments and for compensating users and registering on the ecosystem. We have a roadmap. Well, everybody here has a roadmap. Our roadmap began in January 2017 when we got together to consider how to do this. And we pulled together, and right now, there's actually a functioning system, a functioning prototype that's working, that's going to be launched with the utility token. And that prototype will be scalable. And the utility token money that we earn, we're going to use to build this system, to build the communities with the advertisers and the publishers and the blockchain technology specialists who are part of our core team. We all know these people. We are from these industries, and that's why we want to contribute back to these industries. All right? So if you have any more questions, you can meet us after the show. We'll talk to you. Come and join our platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. All right, these are all the startup pitches of the day. How are our investors feeling? That was a lot to follow. So you'll have some time to think about which are the top three. Who did you really feel impressed by? Who was a lot of hot buzz?